بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينور قلوبنا وأرواحنا وأسرارنا بسيرته صلى الله عليه وسلم وبمحبته والتعلق به والشوق إليه واتباع سنته في كل حال وحين.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Shaykh Umar mentions that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he illuminates our hearts by learning the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and following his way and his adab and his akhlaq, his characteristics and his virtues.
وقد وصلنا إلى أواخر هذا الكتاب إلى هجرته صلى الله عليه وسلم، فقد هاجر إلى المدينة وعمره 53 سنة ومكث بها 10 سنين، فتوفي وعمره 63 سنة صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم، وجزاه عنا خير ما جزى نبيا عن أمته.
So Shaykh Umar mentions that we arrived to the point of the hijrah of the Prophet ﷺ when he made hijrah at the age of 55 years old. He was 53 years old, Prophet ﷺ, when he made hijrah.
وقد علمنا ما في هجرته صلى الله عليه وسلم من العجائب ومن الفتح والنصر والتمكين والتأييد لهذا الدين.
So we know that from the hijrah of the Prophet ﷺ, there were many amazing things that happened on this journey, and many amazing things that aided the Prophet ﷺ in preservation of the religion.
ولم تتوقف عند ذلك المعاناة، فالمعاناة بقيت، لكن الذي ينزل أمره بالله وينزل حاجاته بالله سبحانه وتعالى لا يتعسر عليه شيء. قال الشيخ ابن عطاء الله: ما تعسر شيء أنت طالبه بنفسك، ما تعسر شيء أنت طالبه بالله، وما تيسر شيء أنت طالبه بنفسك.
Now, so the Shaykh continues to mention that there were things that occurred on the hijrah that were unexpected, but however relief came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in aiding the Prophet so that nothing would affect him on his journey, that there was no cause, preventative cause from him completing the hijrah. And the Shaykh mentioned a saying of Ibn Ata'illah, there's nothing which is difficult that you when you seek it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but when you seek it from yourself, there's a difficulty in that.
ومع ذلك فقد كان الإذن بالهجرة للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عند ضغط شديد وإرادة دولة الكفر أن تدخله عليه الصلاة والسلام تحت خيارات 3 أخبر عنه القرآن بقوله: وإذ يمكر بك الذين كفروا ليثبتوك أو يقتلوك أو يخرجوك ويمكرون ويمكر الله والله خير الماكرين. فكروا في حبسه وفي إخراجه من مكة وفي قتله، وما صمموا وعزموا إلا على قتله صلى الله عليه وسلم، فهاجر من بينهم ومكث في الغار 3 ليال، ثم واصل مسيرة الهجرة، وقد وصلوا إلى عند فم الغار فصرفهم الله عنه، وقد لحقهم في الطريق سراقة بن مالك فلم يتمكن من إيقاع الأذى بهم.
So just to summarize what the Sheikh mentioned, he mentioned that obviously when the permission came for the hijrah, there was an increase in pressure from the kuffar of the Quraysh at that time that want to try and prevent the Prophet or even try and plot to kill the Prophet. But as the ayah in the Quran alludes to, that the Prophet left Mecca, and even though through their plots and their trying to kill him, etc., that nothing was going to prevent him from reaching his goal, in the sense that reaching and completing the hijrah, even though they sent people after the Prophet, Surah ibn Malik, the the person who knew the tracks of the desert and how to, he was almost like a hunter. He knew how to trace people and find them in the midst of the desert. Even with those type of schemes, the Prophet still arrived in safety and security.
لم يكن للإسلام حينئذ دولة ولا قوة ولا جيشا، وإنما هي في الحقيقة الصولة، صولة الحق. لأن صولة الحق، الصولة من باب الدولة. الدولة لأهل الماديات ولأهل المحسوسات، والصولة لأهل أرباب الاتصال بالحق جل جلاله وتعالى في علاه. فالحق له صولة دائما لا تنقطع، والباطل له دولة تزول وتذهب وتأتي وتضعف وتقوى. أما الحق فصولته دائمة. خرج صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى المدينة، فكانت هذه الهجرة تغير بها الكيان الإسلامي، وقامت الدولة العظيمة. وكان من هذه الهجرة التغيير الذي حصل على ظهر الأرض، تغيير الظلم والسوء والفساد. وكان في تلك العشر سنوات غزواته صلى الله عليه وسلم، وعددها كما سبق معنا 27 غزوة، وكان فيها سراياه التي بعث فيها بها ولم يخرج فيها، كان عددها 47 غزوة. وكان فيها إقامة الجمعة وخطب الجمعة والعيد والاستسقاء والخسوف والكسوف والحج والعمرة، عمرة الحديبية وعمرة القضاء. وكان فيها قدوم الوفود، وكان فيها بعثه صلى الله عليه وسلم بالبعوث للتعليم أحكام الإسلام والدين. فعندما تنظر إلى هذه العشر سنوات مع قلة المواصلات والاتصالات وصعوبتها في ذلك الزمان، لكنها كانت مليئة بالعطاء، مليئة بالخير، مليئة بالنور الذي نور القلوب المظلمة والقلوب الغافلة عن الله سبحانه وتعالى.
So in summary, the Sheikh just mentioned that Islam in itself, it's not a country or a government or an army, but the foundations of it is that it's a religion of truth, and it's connected to the truth subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one thing that the Sheikh mentioned, he said falsehood can be found in a state, or like in a government, which they come and go. There's many that on the face of the earth, they come, they've been, and they went, and there's many that are here now, they've come and likewise they'll go. But faith is a connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the real, which is something which will never ever go away, which will never ever leave an individual. So when the Prophet entered into Medina, he made this the first Dawla Islamiyya, this was the first Islamic state. And when he say an Islamic state here, means what did it change in this place? It changed corruption and falseness, and it changed to that which was to truth and righteousness. And so the Prophet was there for 10 years, and within those 10 years, as is mentioned previously in the text, there were many battles and expeditions the Prophet participated in, and mentions 27 battles on page 43. However, despite these battles, the Prophet was still, the Jummah was revealed and performed in that time, as was the Eid prayer, as were the solar and lunar eclipses, etc. Likewise, Umrahs, likewise revelation was still being revealed to the Prophet. He was still teaching, etc. Despite everything that was going on in terms of these battles, etc. All this was being happening in Medina at this time, in the span of 10 years. And when we look at these 10 years, maybe there was a lack of what we see now as technological advances. There was no forms of communication like we have now, and there's no technology like we have now. However, but it was a time where divine gifts and blessings were being poured in abundance upon that first generation, that first community of believers, to remove what darkness from them.
ولما بلغ 63 من عمره صلى الله عليه وسلم اختاره الله وانتقل إلى الرفيق الأعلى، وهو القائل عليه الصلاة والسلام: حياتي خير لكم، تحدثون وأحدثكم، ومماتي خير لكم، تعرض علي أعمالكم، فإن وجدت خيرا حمدت الله، وإن وجدت غير ذلك استغفرت لكم. فلم يتخلى صلى الله عليه وسلم عن أمته، لكن بقي معهم وهو في برزخه، ولا يزال كذلك معهم إلى يوم الحساب، وإلى يوم البعث والنشور، وإلى يوم الشفاعة العظمى، وإلى الورود على الحوض، وإلى الدخول إلى الجنان. وهمه وهمته أمته صلى الله عليه وسلم.
The Sheikh mentioned at the age of 63 years old, the Prophet, he went to the intimate company of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, returned to the intimate company of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Prophet said, my life is good for you, and likewise my death is good for you. And if I find good, basically in the barzakh, when the Prophet sees our deeds, if he finds good, then I praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, if I find badness or foulness from you, then I seek forgiveness in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this. I seek forgiveness on behalf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you. And the concern of the Prophet was his ummah, and it'll be his concern in the barzakh, and it'll be his concern on Yawm al-Qiyamah, and it'll be his concern at the hole, at the basin, it'll be his concern at the scales, until his ummah enter into paradise.
وذكر هذا المصنف رحمه الله تعالى الذين يجب حفظ أسمائهم من الملائكة أو معرفة أسمائهم من الملائكة، وهم 10: سيدنا جبريل أمين الوحي، سيدنا ميكائيل الموكل بالأمطار والأرزاق، سيدنا إسرافيل الموكل بالنفخ في الصور، سيدنا عزرائيل الموكل بقبض الأرواح، ومنكر ونكير الموكلان بسؤال الميت في قبره، ورقيب وعتيد الكاتبان للحسنات والسيئات، ومالك خازن النار، ورضوان خازن الجنة.
So the Sheikh mentioned, now we move on to page 44, the significant angels. The text mentions the angels are being of light, and they are neither male or female. They do not eat, drink or sleep. The names of the 10 most significant angels, whose names must be memorized, are Jibreel, and Jibreel is responsible for revelation they're taken to the prophets. Mikael, whose responsibility is the rain and provision. Israfil, who's responsible for the trumpet to be blown. Azrael, who's responsible for taking the souls of every person on the face of planet Earth. Munkar and Nakir are the angels which will be questioning people in their graves. Atid, Raqib and Atid. So Raqib and Atid, these are the ones that the angels that every single individual believer possesses, which write down the good deeds and bad deeds of an individual. Malik, who's the custodian of the fire, and Ridwan, who's the custodian of paradise.
فيجب على كل مسلم معرفة أولئك الملائكة 10، بمعنى أنه لو عرض عليه أي واحد من هؤلاء 10 عرف أنه من الذين يجب معرفتهم. وأما تسلسل حفظ أسمائهم فهذا شيء حسن وطيب، ولكنه ليس بواجب أن يحفظ الأسماء على التسلسل، لكن إذا عرض أي واحد من 10 يعرف أن هذا من 10 الذين يجب معرفتهم. والملائكة عددهم كثير، كما قال الله تعالى: وما يعلم جنود ربك إلا هو، لا يحصى لهم عدد. وهم أجسام نورانية، يعني الأجسام لطيفة ليست كثيفة كأجسامنا، مخلوقة من نور، لا يأكلون ولا يشربون ولا ينامون ولا يتناكحون ولا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. ليسوا بذكور ولا إناث، من قال أنهم ذكور فقد فسق، ومن قال أنهم إناث فقد كفر، فلا يوصفون بشيء من ذلك، لأنهم لا تتعلق بهم غرائز، وليسوا من تناسل بين ذكر وأنثى.
So the Sheikh mentioned then that it's wajib that every single believer knows these angels, and he said that if you memorize it, it's a good thing, but the wajib is that you know them. So if you hear their names, that you know that they're from the 10 angels that you should know. If you don't know their names, it's incumbent upon you to know them, but not necessarily memorize their roles and responsibilities. But if you were to hear their name, that you know they're from the 10 significant angels. And he said, the Sheikh mentioned, continued to say that the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are many, as the ayah in the Quran alludes to, and that you don't know the soldiers of Allah except Him, or no one knows the soldiers of Allah except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there are billions upon billions of angels that all play different roles in the cosmos. And he mentions again the text, angels are made of light, they're not a male. If anyone was to say that an angel is a male, then they're a fasiq. But if anyone was to say that an angel is a female, it's actually kufr, to say that it takes you into a state of disbelief by proclaiming that or believing that angels are female. He said they are made from light, they are made from pure light, they do not eat, drink or sleep, and they do not disobey Allah whatsoever.
ومن الملائكة الذين ينزلون إلى الأرض يحضرون مجالس العلم ومجالس الذكر، ومنهم الملائكة الحفظة الذين يحفظون العبد، غير الكتبة الذين يكتبون ما صدر منه من سيئات أو حسنات، حفظة لهم عقبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله.
So the Sheikh mentioned that again. There are many different angels. There are angels that descend, as we heard in Hadith, to the gatherings of dhikr and the gatherings of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, the gatherings of sacred knowledge. And likewise, there's angels which preserve the slave from any type of evil and any type of harm. That there's angels that are in front of an individual, behind them, to the right and the left, and they're preventing any type of tribulation coming to the individual.
ومنهم حملة العرش الذين ذكر الله لنا في القرآن أن شغلهم الاستغفار لهذه الأمة لمن آمن منهم وسلك السبيل المستقيم واتبع النبي الكريم. قال الله تعالى: الذين يحملون العرش ومن حوله يسبحون بحمد ربهم ويؤمنون به ويستغفرون للذين آمنوا. كيف استغفارهم؟ ربنا وسعت كل شيء رحمة وعلما فاغفر للذين تابوا واتبعوا سبيلك وقهم عذاب الجحيم ربنا وأدخلهم جنات عدن التي وعدتهم ومن صلح من آبائهم وأزواجهم وذرياتهم إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم وقهم السيئات ومن تق السيئات يومئذ فقد رحمته وذلك هو الفوز العظيم. من فضل الله على هذه الأمة أن يسر لها استغفار حملة العرش أفضل الملائكة يستغفرون لهذه الأمة.
So the Sheikh mentions, he just carries another type from the types of angels are those that carry the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said those angels that carry the throne, he said they seek forgiveness for the believers who do good deeds and they follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the Sheikh mentioned an ayah of Quran which, to summarize, it just mentions that they seek refuge for the believers from the fire, and they mention about preserving their offspring and saving them from any type of bad deeds which will be a source of regret for them on the Yawm al-Qiyamah. And he said, like, one of the greatest things for this ummah, that those elect angels that carry the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they actually seek forgiveness for believing men and women of this ummah.
وذكر الكتب المنزلة من السماء، وأن الله أنزل كتبا من السماء يجب التصديق بها، وعددها 104، وأن كل ما تضمنته هذه الكتب حق وصدق، ويجب معرفة أسماء 4 منها، وهي التوراة المنزلة على سيدنا موسى، والإنجيل المنزل على سيدنا عيسى، والزبور المنزل على سيدنا داود، والقرآن المنزل على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
So we continue in the text of the revealed books, and the Sheikh mentioned that it's wajib that we believe in all the text that was sent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said there's 104 in total, but there's 4 that it's wajib that we know these and that we believe in them and that we know who they revealed to. So the first is the Torah that we know, the Torah which was revealed to Musa alayhi salam. Then we have the Injil, the Evangel, which was revealed to Isa alayhi salam. Then we have the Palms of David, which were revealed to Dawood alayhi salam. And then we have the Quran, which it was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
وأما الرسل فالواجب معرفة منهم 25. أما عددهم كثير، وبعض العلماء يميل إلى أن لا يحدد عددهم، لأنه ربما يكون في غيرهم فيكون الإنسان حدد أولئك وترك غيرهم. بل نؤمن بكل الأنبياء والمرسلين، من عرفنا منهم ومن لم نعرف. قال الله تعالى: منهم من قصصنا عليك ومنهم من لم نقصص عليك. وهم 25 المعروفون، أولهم سيدنا آدم عليه السلام، وآخرهم سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
The Sheikh mentioned then Allah's envoys, or what we call the prophets and messengers. There are many that were sent to mankind. However, that's obligatory that we believe in 25 of the prophets that are mentioned in the Quran. And the first being from Adam alayhi salam, as mentioned in the text, and the last being what? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the Sheikh mentioned some of the ulama say that we don't specify the number. There's a difference of opinion on how many prophets and messengers were sent. You say we don't specify a number, say we specify 25 as mentioned in the Quran, we know that with certainty. But after that we don't say a fixed number, because if we were to say a fixed number, we could be incorrect. We could say, oh, maybe it's 124,000, but yeah, Allah sent more than that, or maybe Allah sent less than that. So because we have no certainty in it, we only go with the certainty that we know, which is the 25 mentioned in the Quran.
ومعرفة 25 من الأنبياء كما ذكر في الملائكة، يجب معرفة أسمائهم، بحيث لو عرض على الشخص أي اسم من 25 يعرف أن هذا من الأنبياء الذين يجب معرفتهم. أما حفظهم بالتسلسل واحدا بعد واحد فليس ذلك بشرط، ولكنه حسن وطيب وكمال. يعيد بالمؤمن ألا أن لو قيل له عد الأنبياء وال25 الذين ذكرهم الله في القرآن يكون لا يعرف ذلك، عيب على المسلم وعلى المؤمن.
So the Sheikh mentioned, similar to the Malaika, it's wajib that you know the names of these prophets. So if you heard them, that you know that's one of the 25 mentioned in the Quran. He said the hifz of it, to know them, their chain from Adam alayhi salam to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said it's a good thing, but it's not wajib. He said, however, it is blameworthy if someone said to you, mention the 25 prophets that are mentioned in the Quran. And he said for a believer, and that he can't mention those 25 things, he said it's actually a blameworthy attribute to not be able to mention all their names.
الكتب المنزلة على الأنبياء عليهم الصلاة والسلام آخرها القرآن. والميزة في القرآن عن سائر الكتب السماوية أن القرآن كان دعوة وكان حجة. أما كتب الأنبياء غير القرآن فكانت دعوة وليست حجة، لكن القرآن كان فيه الحجية لأنه نزل على نمط مخصوص، وباللغة العربية المعروفة المعجز جعله الله معجزا حتى في ألفاظه وحتى في سلوب كلامه معجز، لا يمكن لبشر ولا يستطيع مخلوق أن يأتي بسطر واحد من مثل كتاب الله سبحانه وتعالى الكتاب العزيز. وأيضا لوحظ أن كل الكتب السماوية دخلها التحريف، فلما دخلها التحريف وجدت في بعض خطاباتها وبعض الكلام التي فيها مناقض لما هو موجود في العالم من قوانين العلم بسبب ما دخلها من التحريف. أما القرآن العزيز لأنه لم يدخل التحريف فكان كل ما فيه موافقا للعلم والعلم موافق له، فكان الكتاب السماوي الوحيد الذي لا يستطيع أي مخلوق ولا أي إنسان أن يأتي بخلل فيه فيما يتحدث عنه من معلومات كونية أو إنسانية أو حيوانية أو بحرية أو برية إلا كانت في غاية الدقة، لأنه كلام الله الذي لم يدخله تحريف من أيادي البشر.
So the Shaykh Umar just continues to mention in terms of the last revelation being the Quran, that the Quran was sent as a da'wah, as an invitation, and likewise a hujjah, a proof upon mankind. Sheikh Umar mentioned that the previous books that mentioned the Torah, the Injil, and the Zabur, he said they were sent as a da'wah, as an invitation, as a call to people, but they were not sent as a hujjah, they were not sent as a proof. He said one of the amazing natures of the Quran is that the Quran in itself is a miracle, and it's some say the greatest miracle is the Quran itself, in its letters, and likewise in its speech, or in its sentences, in its rhetoric, etc. It's all a miracle. He said there's no way a created being could have brought and even one line like it, or one ayah like it. There's no way a created being could have brought a single ayah like it. And he said, just to summarize, he said the Quran, everything within it agrees with what you'd call like knowledges of the world as well, knowledges and laws, and likewise laws and knowledges agree with the Quran. So when we find things in creation, we say, for example, the passing of the day and the night, etc., the movements of the shadows, etc., we find that conforms with the Quran. Likewise, the Quran conforms with the laws of nature, we could say, and vice versa. He said the previous books didn't have this.
ذكر المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى كيفية صلاة الجنازة، الصلاة على الميت، والأجدر فعلها للرجال، ولكنها أيضا هي سنة للمرأة إذا وجدت سبيلا إلى ذلك أو كان ميت من أقاربها أن تصلي عليه حاضرا كان أم غائبا، كما ذكر المصنف رحمه الله تعالى كيفية هذه الصلاة على الجنازة، وكلنا سيصير كذلك، لا بد أن يكون يوما جنازة يصلى عليه. فنسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يحققنا بالتقوى والاستقامة، ويعيذنا من موجبات الندامة، ويجعل خير أعمالنا آخرها، وخير أعمالنا خواتيمها، وخير أيامنا يوم نلقاه حتى نلقاه وهو راض عنا.
So the Sheikh just mentioned, we move on to the next chapter of how to perform the funeral prayer, and he said it's suitable that when we speak about the funeral prayer, that people realise that it's both you can perform it for someone who's present, and likewise someone who's absent, they're not present, you can perform the funeral prayer for them. And the Sheikh made dua that inshallah that we have a good end to this life.
ثم ختم المصنف رحمه الله تعالى بذكر الورد اللطيف الذي جمعه الإمام الحداد رضي الله عنه. ما هو الورد اللطيف؟ هو أدعية وأذكار وتعويذات وتحصينات من القرآن ومن سنة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. والإمام الحداد إنما جمعها، كما نقول صحيح الإمام البخاري. الإمام البخاري هذه أحاديث النبي، لو قلنا صحيح النبي كان كلاما صحيح، لكن لما تولى الإمام البخاري جمع هذه الأحاديث وأسانيدها وأخرجها، نسبت إليه رضي الله عنه وأرضاه. وهكذا كثير ينسب إلى الجامع والمرتب، كما نقول مذهب الشافعي، مذهب أبي حنيفة، مذهب مالك. كيف هذا؟ مذاهب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفقه والشريعة أتى بها النبي وأتى بها القرآن، وإنما ننسبها إليهم لجمعها وتبويبها وتحرير أدلتها. وكذلك في العقيدة نقول عقيدة الأشعري وغير ذلك من النسب المجازية، وإنما هو في الحقيقة دين الله جاءنا في هذه القوالب وفي هذه الوسائل حتى نقبل عليه سبحانه وتعالى منة منه ساقها إلينا. نسأله دوام التوفيق وتمام التوفيق، وليتم علينا النعمة، ويجعلنا من أهل الإحسان، ويجعلنا من الشاكرين الذاكرين، ويعيننا على ذكره وشكره وحسن عبادته.
So the Sheikh mentioned just from the last chapter, he quickly went over the chapter on the funeral prayer. Just said, inshallah, it's incumbent that people learn these type of du'as, that when people pass away, etc., they know how to perform the funeral prayer over the believers that have passed away, and people should actually look to memorize those du'as. Then he moves on to the word al-latif, and he said that this is a dhikr, this is a supplication, and likewise it's a protection from the Quran and the Sunnah. Everything that's compiled within it is from the Quran and the Sunnah. And Imam al-Haddad, he's the one who gathered it and placed it in the order that it's placed in. he said like it's called the Wird al-Latif. He said similar to like when you have books called Sahih al-Bukhari. He said if it was called Sahih Muhammad, then it'd likewise be correct. He said everything which is contained in Sahih Bukhari is all taken from the statements of the Prophet ﷺ, which Imam Bukhari, he organised and arranged them in the chapters, etc. And then the book became known as Sahih Bukhari, but it's nothing to do with, in the sense, Imam Bukhari. It's all about the Prophet ﷺ. And so likewise, this Wird al-Latif, it's called Wird al-Latif, but in reality it's the Wird of Muhammad ﷺ. That it's all taken from the sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, and all from the adhkar that he used to recite it in the morning time. And he said likewise, we have the madhabs, we have the Shafi'i madhab, we have the Hanafi madhab, we have the Hanbali and the Maliki madhab. We have these madhabs. He said in reality these are all the madhabs or the ways of the Prophet ﷺ. If anyone was to take one, it'd lead them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the sense that it's named after the Imam who founded it, but the actual way of it is the way of the Prophet ﷺ. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his deen is, that it's vast, but there's things that are attributed to individuals, but they're not in the essence of the individual. It's actually, in essence, it's the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ومن غير شك أن الذكر وأهميته والمحافظة عليه أمر مهم لآخرة الإنسان وبرزخه قبل حياته، لأن غذاء الروح هو الذكر. غذاء الروح هو الذكر، والإنسان إذا خرج من هذه الحياة الدنيا صار جانب الروح هو المغلب فيه، فسعادته وسعادة روحه عند لقاء ربه إذا كان كثير الذكر لله سبحانه وتعالى. والحق جل جلاله يقول في الحديث القدسي: أنا عند ظن عبدي بي وأنا معه إذا ذكرني. ومن ذكرني في ملأ ذكرته في ملأ خير من ملئه، ومن ذكرني في نفسه ذكرته في نفسي. شوف معية الله، معية الله خالق الأكوان هذه كلها وما فيها وقوانينها وخيرها وشرها ونفعها وضرها كله بيد الله. فإذا ذكرت الله كان الله معك بالحراسة والتأييد والحفظ والتزكية. فكم ورد لنا في القرآن: والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا. فما أحوجنا إلى الذكر هو الوسيلة إلى انشراح الصدر، هو الوسيلة إلى طمأنينة القلب. ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. يذهب القلق، يذهب الانزعاج، يذهب الارتباك، تذهب المخاوف، تذهب المكدرات من خلال ذكر الله سبحانه وتعالى. نسأل الله أن يجعلنا من الذاكرين الشاكرين، ويربطنا بالنبي الأمين، ويختم لنا بالحسنى وهو راض عنا. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
The Sheikh mentioned just a final thing on the point of dhikr. He said dhikr is like a protection for the individual who remains constant upon it. So these adhkar that I mentioned, الذخيرة, people should remain constant upon it. And he said that dhikr is the sustenance or the nourishment of the souls. That if a person is continually in a state of dhikr, that when he leaves this world, his soul in a sense is satiated with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He meets the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with his soul being full of being nourished by this dhikr. And he says the hadith Qudsi, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned on the tongue of the Prophet, he said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet, I am in the opinion of my slave, and I am with him when he mentions me. If he mentions me to himself, then I mention him to myself. And if he mentions me in a gathering, I mention him in a gathering which is greater than the gathering which he's in. So he said for the one who wants Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be with him, then he has to be in a state of dhikr. He said all purification of the soul, all protection of the self, all protection from trials and tribulations and anything that affects you in your life, they all come back to being in the state of dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in that state, when you're in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's in remembrance of you. And that's why he said that the heart, the ayat in the Quran that mentions that our hearts only become tranquil through the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Shaykh just made a dua that we become from those people who are from the dhikr.
لكن القراءة والكتاب هي تعتبر إجابة.
So the
القراءة في الكتاب إجازة. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يوفقنا للعمل ويملأ قلوبنا بالخير والنور والهداية ويربطنا بأهل الله ويربطنا بالصالحين والعارفين ويجعل أعمالنا مندرجة في أعمالهم حتى نحوز رضوان الله سبحانه وتعالى ونحوز سرور قلب نبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
So the Sheikh just gave everyone who's attended the classes and the book, he's just given them ijazah, he's given license to reading of these texts. So everyone should say قبلنا